we are live. Take it on, bro.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man Podcast. I'm your host, David. This here's Mike. What's going on, sir?
Hey, buddy.
How's everything been going, man? How's life?
It's kind of one of those where it's like, I mean, I got no negative reports. That's the good thing about it. I'm just exhausted, man, because I've been staying so busy that, I mean, as long as the wheels keep churning, then, you know, how can you really complain, you know?
Right. Yeah, man.
What about for you?
The same way. Hey, just got on vacation. This is, I've been on vacation since Friday. So,
Nice.
Man, dude, it's just been calming, don't have to worry about nothing right now. Just relax, catch some time with the family. Everything's good.
So how's things going with the house hunting, bro?
Right now, everything's good. We got an inspection this coming up Tuesday. So we'll know more once we get to that date.
Excellent.
After we get there and, they start going through the nooks and cranny of everything. But other than that, everything's been good.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. I know we talked off air a little bit about, kind of pointers to keep tabs on for when they're going through and doing the inspecting so you don't end up getting hosed like we did.
Yeah. I'll be there with them the whole step of the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good.
Yeah, because our realtor is going to be there. And at first I was like, fuck it, she can do it. But Then I was just like, I guess I'll go.
Dude, you're the worst and absolute best customer on the face of the planet. One, because you give a shit, and two, because you give a shit. So
right, yeah. Like I'm really gonna be up his ass. Like, oh, what's that? What's this? What's that?
Right.
What's that? So
yeah, you've got a vested interest in it, and if he's halfway worth his weight in shit, he'll make sure to walk you through every step, every facet that's going on. So. Oh, man.
Yep. That's how everything's going with that, man. Other than that, man, life as usual right now. So
nice. Well, at least you're making good life decisions. I was stupid enough to stay for an extra game tonight. So, dude, I'm so fucking wiped out.
Yeah. So how's it being back in hockey with, ribs recovered and stuff like that? Are you kind of seeing yourself out of shape or what's going on?
So I've been going the last couple weeks, which is cool. But I'm not going to – it's beer league, bro. As long as you show up and you want to play, they're going to let you play. So, I mean, it's just a fucking cool down-to-earth league. And everybody is out there not to win, but just to have fun. So, and dude, the coaches, man, if you start getting out of control and you start, trying to be a showboat and all this other dumb shit, they'll run you right the fuck off the rink. So they did that to a guy. They kicked him out of the league. Was my first week back off of my rib injury. He was in the game after me, and my buddy that's on one of the other teams texted me, goes, dude, one of my teammates just got kicked off for being a fucking jerk off. It's like, how are you going to be an ass? How are you going to be a fucking dickhole in the middle of a beer league, bro? Wait, what was he doing?
Clotheslining women and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That type of shit.
Fucking cross-checking abroad or something like that. It's like, Jesus, dude.
Out there, Happy Gilmore.
You said just fucking tripping ladies and shit on the ice, taking down the one handicapped kid that we have. Fuck out of here, dude.
He's that guy.
I got a great one for you. So,
what's up?
Second game tonight. Like I said, we got a handicapped kid on the team, one of the teams. And so I was subbing in for that team, and I was just fucking gassed, bro. And as I got out on the ice, I don't know what it was, man, but my body just gave way. I only had I had about 30 seconds of R&R. And the guy that I was swapping in and out on, he was on my team. He's on my team, and we both stayed to help out the other team. So he was like, man, I'm only doing 30 seconds. I'm fucking out of here. So I get on the ice, dude, and just eat shit. And out of left field, I just hear the handicap kid going, wah, just laughing his fucking ass off, bro. It was one of the top 3 most embarrassing ass moments. It was it was hysterical, but at the same time, man, it was horrifying because it's like, fuck.
You're doing so great when you got a handicapped person making fun of you.
And I deserved every second of it. That was the even worst part, dude. Oh, man. It was hysterical.
Oh, man.
The whole bench was laughing.
Don't take hockey advice for this guy. He got laughed at by a handicapped person.
Obviously, he's better than me. That dude was laughing his ass off when I ate shit.
Well, that's good. Your little beer league. Bunch of out-of-shape dads reliving the hockey days.
Bro, I'm telling you, right? Well, most of them are about our age. Like, I don't know, dude. Out of shape is, I would say that's kind of the impression of the entire league, like across the board. If you're in shape, you're a superstar there just because you can stay on the ice for more than 2 minutes.
So are y'all actually in season, or are y'all?
Yeah, it's just
rotational right now.
So it's rotational. So we do a 3-month spread. The first 3 weeks of practice, or the first 3 weeks rolling into the next season, is going to be all practices, and that's just kind of anybody that's like onboarding, getting them in tune with what's going on, and also gives us guys that have been playing for a little bit now the opportunity to kind of like hone our skills and work on our passing and stuff like that, and then we roll directly into games from the following practice on. So our third practice on, after that we'll do like a little scrimmage at the end of it, and then the rest of it's just pretty much all season where we just show up and just act like a bunch of dumbasses.
That's good, man. So you had some stuff that you wanted to get into. You had some stuff that was weighing heavy on your heart that you want to get off. Yeah. So
yeah. And luckily I got some good therapy tonight. So I can say that I think we can address this with a pretty somber mind. I know you and I are predominantly conservative. I would consider myself more borderline libertarian than anything else. I'm not sure where you would kind of really categorize yourself in that aspect. We're not going to get into who we're voting for in this episode, but there's some things that really have weighed heavy on my heart, and I know you and I have discussed it regarding just kind of this whole political rigmarole going on, especially with this virus. Dude, I got to be honest, man. I'm beyond frustrated at this point. Like it's not even the aspect of the fact that I respecting other people's wishes with wearing the mask. I get that. I'm really not even that opposed to it. I think it's a giant social experiment personally, where they're just basically testing us to see how far, we'll get along to go along. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that, like I said, that's all personal opinion. That's nothing outside of the ordinary. The thing that's really frustrating me right now, man, is there's people that are having like drastic fucking health issues. I'm talking like kidney failure, like renal kidney failures. Hell, dude, even just like basic surgeries for like core injuries and shit like that. Like if you get a hernia, you're turning people away, man. They're not performing normal everyday activities in the hospitals for people who, in my opinion, are legitimately injured. Because let's not kid ourselves. Your kidneys fail, dude. You're dead. There's no fucking recovering from that, bro. Like, you can run on the bag for a little while, but you're going to drop eventually. So, and that's it. I know people personally that's been happening to. So that's why I said, that's why it's been kind of weighing heavy on my heart. So I'm kind of at a breaking point with this whole ordeal. And the thing that frustrates me, and I know it frustrates you as well the most, is the fact that we can't even address this from a different perspective other than the fact of, you're inhumane for not believing that everybody has COVID or is a potential of just dropping out in the streets dead. Like this is some sort of modern plague. And all you see is just a bunch of walking zombies out there and people who are just randomly vomiting. It's out of control with the consensus that for whatever reason, this disease that's going on, it's just crippling everybody. And that's not the case at all, dude. So like I said, I've got personal people right now who are in really, really bad shape that need the medical attention, and they're getting turned away just for a simple fact that people are, especially like the hospital and stuff like that, they're dead concerned about having other individuals come in and I don't know, I guess expose people who are already I don't know, dude. I don't understand it, man. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, man. And you can listen to any doctor that's going to come out and tell you some real shit. That's not going to lie to you. That's not playing politics. That, you know, they all saying the same stuff. You know, people are actually affected because they're not going in. They're not getting the chemo treatment. They're not getting these surgeries. They're not having these procedures done. So in return, that's making them worse. Not to mention the mental aspect of what all this fear mongering and shit like that is doing to people. Man, you got people that's drinking themselves in the stupor. Man, you got people that's getting addicted to drugs, things that are happening to little kids that I'm not even going to get into.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to stay away from that, you know, shit that's happening to little kids, being at home with these parents and uncles and aunts and stuff like that, that's all being impacted. But at the same time, you know, yes, people in the mainstream media and shit like that is making this 10 times worse than what it is, 100%. And I mean, honestly, that's not the only thing I'm fed up about. Of course, I'm fed up with all this bullshit, but like, dude, to me, I'm just like, motherfucker, for normal everyday people, what y'all saying, like, dude, we all know it's a lie.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Just point blank period. We all know you lying. We all know you full of shit. We can look around and see what's going on.
Right.
Fuck your bullshit statistics, because you can sit there and quote me some statistics from whatever jerk off you want to quote from. I can do the same thing that goes against your fucking argument. Okay, so again, I'm living here on the ground, out in everyday life. Down here in Arkansas, we ain't shut down. We still moving and grooving how we been doing. And again, whatever y'all saying, fuck it. You know, of course y'all not gonna come out and tell the truth anyway. So I'm just not believing the shit.
Well, the people with the voice right now, those are the fucking jerk offs, man. Like, these are the ones that are sitting there. They have the time to sit on Twitter all day, because the people who are making sure that the electricity stays on, making sure that the gas is still running, making sure that that internet is still going, those are the ones that don't really have the time to sit here and tweet and say, fuck you. Nobody is just falling out in our workspace. So I don't know what your fucking gig is, but obviously your job is expendable if all you have to do is sit behind a computer screen all day and do that shit. I mean,
the only thing this has done is made a bunch of new Twitter politicians, Twitter doctors, Twitter therapists, and, you know,
right.
Like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, if you have that much time to sit at home on Twitter, on all these social media platforms, acting like you know what the fuck you talk about, again, you can sit here and quote me all these statistics, all these stats that somebody else told you. Motherfucker, I can do the same thing that goes against whatever narrative that you're trying to paint. Again, a lot of people have gotten this thing wrong. Point blank, period. A lot of things, you know, again, like, we've never been through something like this. So honestly, I don't think a lot of people know any goddamn way. But at the same time, you know, like, quit trying to scare me. Like, it's just not going to happen, because I'm living on the ground right now.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I got nothing to lose. The fuck, you know. I completely agree with you, dude. Well, and then on top of that as well, too, like, you look at what's going on, like, politically. I mean, let me ask you this, David. Do you think that this disease, or whatever, this virus, you think this virus has a shelf life?
Do I think it has a shelf life?
Yeah, you think it has a shelf life?
It's here for right now.
I'm ballparking November.
It's gonna last long.
I'm gonna ballpark November 4th.
I mean, come on, man. Like, let's be honest. This whole thing goes away after November. Hey, regardless of how it swings, regardless of how the pendulum swings, after November, this thing is done. It's over. It's gone.
Let's go into conspiracy theory for a second, bro.
Okay.
I mean, I've discussed with a few people, not going in depth on it, because, you know, it's nobody's business for me to sit there and just verbally waterboard them. But since we're sitting here talking about this whole ordeal, and we might as well get our voices heard. So this is the first time, buddy, that I can recall where we haven't had a presidential debate, like, since I've been alive. And there's only one person that I see that has no business debating whatsoever, and it's oddly convenient that that's happening during the time phase where he's supposed to be going up for an election. Now, do I agree with the two-party system? No. But I mean, even more so, I'm sitting here watching the Democrats. And it's not just me, bro. There's major platform parties that back our opinion on the fact that Joe Biden is mentally incapable of doing anything especially from like a presidential role, let alone, he shouldn't even be in politics at this point. Like, the guy needs to be in a retirement home and fuck his family for the fact that they just keep dragging this guy through the mud. Do I give a shit about him? No. He's a career politician. I think the dude's a fucking royal scumbag. But at the same time, it just goes to show, like, how disgusting that party is, for the fact that as much as I disagree from a principle standpoint with Bernie Sanders, that guy's always been committed to everything that he's done. And he was their golden goose for this election, and they shafted him again. Like, they instantaneously just dropped the guy out. I mean, he made another couple million off of, all these people who were donating money to him, like a bunch of fucking idiots. But at the same time, they just all of a sudden just turned the dial off one day back in, what was it, January? And they're like, you're not going anymore. See ya, you're out.
Well,
man.
Like people talk about conspiracy theories. Like, dude, it's no conspiracy theory when they're flat out doing it right in front of your face. Right. Again, just like you said, this is the first presidential election that we've had, and A, we haven't had any debates. B, dude, they're not even campaigning.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like, they're not even campaigning. Like, just flat out period. They're not even, like, dude, again, somebody said it point blank. How can you be president if you won't even sit there in a debate? I mean, come on, dude. This is like this is standards, right? This is point blank standards. You have one person that's like, dude, hey, we need to have another debate. Like, hey, come on, like, let's get the ball rolling. And your whole strategy is, we're going to keep them in the basement. We're going to keep everything tailored to where pre-scripted. And the motherfucker still don't even get this shit right.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, you've seen his I'm sure you've seen his campaign ads come up on, like, YouTube and shit when you're just sitting there perusing through something. And
I'll throw them down. Automatically, I'll throw them down.
Dude, it's painful to listen to the guy try and read off of the prompter. Because he's the guy's senile. And it's like they're just sitting here putting him up on a pedestal like he has the fucking cognizant ability to be able to sustain for the next 4 years as a president of the United States. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's insane to me. I just don't understand.
Like, these people are not playing they're not playing a fair game. And honestly, they don't want to. And going forward, this shit can't be acceptable. It can't. Like, you can't sit here and waterboard us with viruses, these fake racial grievances and, pandemic and all this. Like, dude, like, you can't sit there and do this shit and all just to win an election. Like, you can't, like, think about how much they have destroyed since February. I mean, these people are willing to rip apart this country, point blank period,
right?
Just to get their shit going.
Just to
like,
stay in a position of power.
That's it. And, yes, we see that they're doing that, but, dude, again, it falls back on us. It falls back on the people, dude. Like, we can't allow them to do shit like that no more.
Well, it's not. Here's what's fucking nuts to me, David. Like, right wing, left wing, I personally both think they're both shit. Doesn't matter what fucking party. But both of them is just product of nepotism. One gets into the system, and then the kids just keep running down the line because it's the easiest fucking force-fed paycheck on the face of the planet. Like, you look at the Cheneys, for Christ's sake, dude. They have had, first of all, fuck that family in general. They have done the exact same thing that you would hope that they wouldn't do in regards to the fact that their daughter, man, I mean, she has, where she's a senator of? Take a shot in the dark.
Who, Cheney?
Yeah.
In Texas?
No. Wyoming.
Mm.
Just like Bernie Sanders, dude. That's what these guys do, man. They go through, they look at a map where they think that they know that they can get some sort of reinforcement to, because, everything's zoned in such a small portion of wherever you're actually running for your candidacy that it's like, you look at Bernie Sanders, that guy has no fucking relevance to Vermont on the face of the planet. He's never even been there. His family's not from there, nothing. The guy's been in politics with the state of Vermont since the 90s. I'm sorry, since 1990. And he hasn't done shit. The fucking Cheneys, they're ensuing daughter now. She's a senator of Wyoming. She grew up in motherfucking Chicago, dude. She has no relevance to the state of Wyoming whatsoever. The closest she ever got was getting 2 years of her degree in Colorado at Boulder. It's like, are you fucking kidding me, man? It's the same repetitious bullshit. These people know exactly where the fuck to put people in positions of power. It's basically a giant game of Risk, and somehow they keep getting away with it because we don't push back and we don't hold these people accountable. Do we have no real system of checks and balances, hoping the votes matter? But obviously it doesn't if all they do is just go fucking run somewhere else.
So with what you've been seeing over the past couple months, what do you think is the end goal? What do you think is the end game?
That's painting with a broad brush, dude. I don't know, buddy. I got to be honest. I don't know. I got my frustrations on both sides of the fence right now because
So for instance, like what are y'all seeing down there in Houston? Like, what's the general consensus for people out there in Houston?
Nothing, dude. I mean, this is literally the ultimate melting pot down here. You got people from literally everywhere, bro. And we get along. There's no like if you turn on the TV right now, you'd think that everybody's walking around calling each other the N-word, calling each other cracker, all that other bullshit. It's 180 degrees opposite. So, I mean, what about Arkansas? How's everything going with that?
Dude, I've ran across so many different people, and I've even been to different pockets, just kind of out in the country and different things like that. And it's more so one of those things if you can kind of weed out the people that you like. Okay, these people are kind of similar, kind of aligned similarly to how I am, versus people who are don't, because I mean they literally stick out like a sore fucking thumb. And I mean honestly, just on the ground, like when I go to different places and talk to different people, everybody's pretty much on the same shit. Like, hey, this is all bullshit. Everything that you're saying, you're lying. And it's just, and I mean honestly, it's y'all want to bring up social awareness. Honestly, the only thing y'all doing is creating more frustrations between people. I mean, literally, that's what you're doing. Man, let me give you an example. So my wife was talking to one of her customers at the bank, a normal guy that she always has a conversation with. The guy, he starts talking and then he pauses because he was like, oh shit, I'm about to say something to, as a white guy, I can't say this, and it's going to offend this person, this person of color. And my wife looked at him like, "Hey, bro, like I'm not like them. You can say what you want to say. Like I'm not going to get in my feelings. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to hurt me because whether do you know or not, we see the same way." And he was like, "Oh, okay, now I can speak freely." Again, like what kind of world is it to live in when somebody can't even speak their own mind? And like he wasn't about to say anything racist. He wasn't about to say anything that was going to offend her. But it's just like, oh, I can't even say that. I can't even say this. So just let me shut up. And again, that's creating more division. I mean, what's going to happen is you're going to create more resentment. You're going to create more resentment. Perfect. And honestly, that's something that I'm starting to see is like you create a shit ton of resentment from. I mean, just people against bullshit. And again, how are you? I mean, this ain't fixing nothing as far as I'm concerned. You're only making the shit worse. And honestly, you making the shit worse against y'all because me and my Caucasian buddy that feel the same way, now we're against you. I mean, you can't call both of us racist.
So let's, I want to give the platform to you, buddy. And I'm just basically going to go ahead and lob a few pitches to you.
Go ahead.
So it's 2020.
Gotcha.
Right now, we should technically be in the pinnacle of progressive nature. It's taken us, what would you say, 4 or 5 months to finally get this podcast, like this specific yap session going, just out of fear of reprisal for you with the Black community. Do you think, why is that?
So here's something that I go back and forth between. Now, when you say the Black community, yeah, I am Black, but does that mean I'm in the Black community? Not really.
Okay.
I mean, when you really boil it down, am I in the Black community? Not really, because it depends on what you define as the Black community. Am I like your average stereotypical Black person? Absolutely not. I don't go to the same places. I don't hang out in the same places. I don't listen to the same music. I don't dress alike. None of that bullshit. So people automatically look at me like I'm fucked up because I don't act like the status quo Black person. Okay?
Talking about in your own culture, or are you talking about just in general?
In my own culture.
Gotcha.
In my own culture, right? Because it's always, if you're Black, you got to do the same thing as everybody else. And me, I was always taught to be an individual. So I say, fuck that. I don't have to. I do what the fuck I want to do. Marshall, right. I don't beat my own drum. Okay. So you have that. But then on the same time, I mean, again, dude, look at me. I am Black, right? So I can identify with some things because, yes, I've been there, I've done that, and I grew up in it. But right now, I'm just going to be honest with you. I really don't consider myself to be part of the Black community because the Black community don't even consider me to be part of it. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Is it just so? It's great getting to talk to you about this because it's a whole different perspective than what you get to see on Twitter, or what you get to see on LinkedIn and all that shit. And obviously, I was in the military. You were. And all of my fucking friends growing up have always been Black. I'm not going to sit here and portray myself as something it's not. I don't understand why. I mean, I'm the biggest piece of shit that I know. So the fact that I've just had a whole bunch of Black friends growing up, dude, our best friends, my dad's best friends growing up were all Black, the Crows. So I didn't know what was going on, man. The term racism didn't make sense to me until I moved out of Colorado and went to Oregon. And that was the first time where I truly experienced racism because the Mexicans didn't like the white people at all. The Mexicans didn't like anybody. So that was really weird to me because I was like, what the fuck's going on? I guess I was predispositioned with my family upbringing that I never really knew, never really saw race as anything other than what it is. And I'm grateful to him for that, dude. I really am, It's like, but at the same time, like, I guess I never understood because I am who I am. This is a skin that I'm in. So I don't pretend to understand your culture. I don't.
So do you want to know about my experiences with racism? Is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know, buddy. And I truly think everything that you hear on a fucking, unless you like go listen to a Rogan podcast or something like that, where he actually brings in people who are going to talk about those experiences. Most of this shit is just always a split screen where people are yelling at each other. No one gets to fucking talk about what their true experiences is. So go for it.
Let me address this wide scale of Black people coming out and acting like I've been depressed, discriminated against. People have displayed racism toward me at this wide scale, this broad level to where I've been crippled and able to do all these things. You're lying. Okay? Let's be 100%. You're fucking lying. As a Black man being from the South, dude, have I experienced racism? Yeah, absolutely. But have I experienced this wide scale racism to where I have not been able to live my life, progress through life, buy the things I want to buy, go the places I want to go? No. So what's so different than you than me? Have people experienced a certain level of racism that I haven't? Probably. I'm not saying that it don't exist. But again, this whole victimhood and this whole crippleization, like you're literally using some words that somebody else used towards you as the reason why you haven't gotten ahead. Dude, I don't want to hear that bullshit. The reason why you haven't gotten ahead is because you didn't make the smart decisions and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like, come on, I come from a single parent household. Again, I mean, you talk about every card that you can possibly think of stacked against me. I've had it stacked against me at one point in my life, and I've knocked them bitches down one by one, one by one. I've never made excuses. I never took fucking handouts from anybody. I grind every day of my fucking life. So again, explain to me how I am able to do it, but you're not able to do it. I used to date this one girl, and me and her had this same conversation, and she's talking all this stuff, and I simply asked her if I was able to do it, why aren't they able to do it? Again, same shitty background. I come from, like, I'm not gonna give y'all a sob story or whatever. Again, whatever you hear in rap and all this other stuff, I lived a very similar life to this. I've even known people who live worse lives than me. And again, if they're able to make it, why aren't you able to make it? So you mean to tell me there's somebody living in Chicago, somebody living in New York, Houston, Atlanta, right? These are metropolitan cities. I mean, just plethora of opportunity. You mean to tell me that me living in a little Podunk, Arkansas, that that you don't have more opportunities than me? I mean, honestly, you telling me somebody who lives in Houston, Texas, that I got more opportunities than you? No. I mean, how is that possible? How is it possible that I have more opportunities than you? Is it because I take advantage of different things? Because I get up and I move my feet? I mean, what is it? I don't sit back and cry and wince and, somebody looked at me funny, so I guess it's racism. No. Again, and also I think as people, we've gotten away from, there's a very fine line between racism and stupidity. And that's something I really want everybody to understand. There's a very fine line between racism and stupidity. Just because some asshole says something stupid, it really doesn't mean that he's a racist. It just means he's a fucking dumbass. And he said something stupid. Right? I mean, you see it all the time. But as people with the same color as me, they always jump to one conclusion only. Nah, I mean, the person's just an asshole. I mean, honestly, like you have some people that are so used to just being just dipshits, just dicks to everybody, that when they come to you, I mean, they're going to be the exact same way. I mean, it's not that the person's racist, they're just assholes.
Right.
I have tendencies to be assholes. I may say something, it ain't me being racist. It's just, I just said a dumb thing. So people have to understand that, and people are being disingenuous when they always jump to one conclusion only. It's not.
So I wanted to bring up a point. I'm kind of curious what your take would be on this. So my general thought process is that racism, as much as we want to sit here and say end racism, I think it's impossible, dude. I truly do.
I would agree. I mean, dude, people act like racism is only one group of people projecting that on everybody else. It's not. It's not. Racism is just not Caucasian people being racist towards all the other ethnicities there is out there. No, you have racism and prejudice within your own fucking communities, with your own pockets of race. I mean, come on, man. Like it's in everybody. At some point, everybody's gonna be racist. Everybody's gonna be a little prejudiced and stuff like that. There's certain motherfuckers I don't want to be around. So, I mean, there's certain people I don't want to fucking be around. There's certain parts of town at a certain time I don't go through there. But if I do go through there, I'm well protected.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so what? I mean, like I didn't say it. I mean, just because I avoid a certain part of town, it just means I don't want to fucking get robbed.
All right. Yeah.
It's not that I want to get robbed. I just don't want to have an altercation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I don't trust the territory, let alone the people. It doesn't matter what fucking background there is. But
right.
So here's why I kind of threw that broad spectrum point out is the fact that, so when you're a kid and you're young and impressionable, and let's not kid ourselves, you're just basically a blank canvas at that point in time. You walk into your first day of elementary school and, or you know what, let's do this. How about when you start developing a little bit more, you hit about 10 years old and you're trying to figure out who you are your first year going into middle school, and you walk into the lunchroom for the first day. What is the first thing that ingratiates you with anybody that you look around and see?
Well, see, it was different for me because, I always went to the same elementary school. I went to the same elementary school through, K through fifth, right? So when I walked into the lunchroom, I'm just with.
Well, just put yourself in a hypothetical situation here. I mean, so when you walk into a room, let's go random room, okay? There's going to be a soup bowl of people in there. You don't know who the fuck it is, and the first thing you're going to do, there's a person at every single table. What's generally going to be the first thing that, like I said, it is going to associate you with somebody in that room?
Okay, so of course I know what you're getting at. Of course, you're going to identify with somebody who's like you versus, meaning
Right.
like if I walk into a lunchroom and I see this little black kid sitting there by himself, of course, I'm going to go make myself acquainted with him because he looked like me. Like for instance, when I went to college, right? I didn't know nobody. When I went into the cafeteria, I mean, I'm looking for football players. Like I'm looking for people that's on the team with me so I could go sit down and
Right.
have lunch with them. So I mean, it could be, same person, same color, same person you're in your classroom with, same person you play sports with. You play summer league with this kid here. Oh, so let me go sit down and, of course, I mean, yeah, you want to feel comfortable. You want to identify with somebody that you already know or that looks like you. Yeah, of course.
And that's, like I said, that's the one thing that I think is my biggest case that I have to say that racism is an impossible thing to just completely alleviate. You can't make something not happen. I mean, it has nothing to do with what you said. The key word earlier, and that is people are assholes or not. It's like, okay, well, I can ingratiate myself with these people. That's fine. But just because they look like me doesn't mean they're good people. They can end up being complete fucking scumbags. And then from that point in time, I don't want to sit with them in the lunchroom anymore, So I'm going to go find this other group over here that, maybe I relate to a little bit better, whatever. Maybe we've got some sort of hobby in mind. You just said the key word was football. That's our mentality. That's yours and my mentality. We're not sitting here trying to figure out who is who's listening to what, any of that shit. The only thing we want to do is find people that we like talking to. We're not here to sit there and badmouth or, trash people or whatever. We're here to go talk with people that we know we can have some sort of, intellectual conversation with and be able to address stuff like adults instead of just everything being a shout me down party where it's like, you disagree with me, so I'm just going to yell at you until you fucking do.
I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit what you look like. And me, you can sit down and we can relate and we see eye to eye on the same shit and we can have stimulating conversations based on our preferences that we like. I don't give a fuck who it is. I sit down, I talk to them. But I tell you what I won't do. I won't sit down and I won't talk with somebody who has nothing in common with me either.
Right.
Because it's like, what's the point?
When I won't listen to someone who won't have open dialogue, bro. Because it's like,
that's another thing is, people haven't, again, opened up. Like, see, I think that's what makes me and you great together is because from the time I met you, I never tried to one-up you. You never tried to one-up me. Me and you can speak our opinions about different things, and me and you can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like if I say something and you don't agree with it, bro, I'm not going to turn around and hate you for it.
Right.
But then again, it's like if you don't agree with me, you're not the type of person who's like, I know better. I know more. No, it's we agree to disagree. But that's the problem with people. It's like nobody knows how to agree to disagree. Like,
right.
Dude, you can feel how
everybody. That's a great point.
Like, and that's lost. That is 100% lost in our society.
Yeah.
Is the to agree to disagree. No, you have to agree. No, you have to agree. If you don't see it my way, then. But again, it's just a bunch of spoiled. Dude, it's just a bunch of spoiled people. Like, I'm sorry, nobody didn't let you have it your way. Like, I'm sorry, but hey, this is the real world. People are going to disagree with you. Sorry. Like you're you're outside of that bubble where everybody agrees. Now you actually come across somebody who don't agree. Then what you gonna do?
Right. And dude, I mean, we've gone on our tirade because we needed to, and hopefully, if anybody has actually endured our conversation at this point, sat back and looked at it, with a little bit of an open mind, we are pretty even keeled guys for the most part. I mean, everybody's got their demons, but at the same time, like, people are good, dude. I in my heart of hearts, I believe that there is no gray area of people. There's people who want to do good. There's people who have good intentions, and there's shit people. There's the assholes that you were addressing earlier. So if you sit here and you listen to everything the fucking TV tells you, everything that you read on your stupid Facebook, which is why I haven't logged into my Facebook in a week and a half, just because all it does, dude, it's a disease. It's a cancer of the mind. So I've had to completely shut it out of my life. All the funny stuff, people text me, all the shit. It literally, my schedule has opened up. I have been so much more productive just getting rid of that dumb shit. And it's because of the fact that if you sit there and you listen to that minuscule amount of people who are bitching when nobody's going to get in their face and say something about it, and they just want to see the chaos ensue, like, you forget that you can walk out your door and have a civil conversation with your neighbor and not hate each other. And like I said, I don't know if, I mean, it's kind of like circling around. Maybe this is like indoctrination to where all of us are supposed to be wearing masks, staying indoors, and basically we're all supposed to be antisocial, other than, having fucking Zoom Zoom affairs.
Zoom meetings.
Yeah, exactly. Which in our case makes sense considering the fact we're stayed away. So,
right.
But at the same time, you and I are still getting out and doing shit. You're working out, you go out and run every single day. I try and get out and at least go, I go play street hockey as much as I can. We've got our own lives going on to where, we stay productive. As you see, anybody looking at us, we're not a couple of fat bodies who are just bitching about stuff. I mean, we're pretty damn proactive. And like I said, this platform is for people to have open dialogue. We stressed that since day one. And now you see what our difference in backgrounds is. I didn't grow up in white suburbia. I promise you I didn't. I was kicked out of so many schools. It's not even funny, for fighting. And it's taken me till almost the age of 30 to finally really start getting my shit together. I finally got a good woman in my life, a great woman who put me on the right track of not being a complete fucking psychopath. And then that's allowed me to open the door up to where I can have civil conversations with you and keep friends around, because I'm not just a constant ticking time bomb, So
right.
It's growth and development for sure. But you said it earlier, we all have our own backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you're from a metropolitan area, you're from bumfuck Egypt, Arkansas, or Missouri, whatever. We've all got our struggles, man. It's just a matter of how you address every single day and how you want to fucking grind and progress.
Man, I've always grew up with the mindset that, I just refuse to lose, man. I refuse to let somebody, I refuse to let somebody else stop my paycheck, stop my progression, stop me from getting the things that I want.
Nice.
I refuse to. I absolutely refuse to. Nice. I don't give a damn if it's somebody sitting in front of me trying to put up road. Like, it's just not going to work, man. But again, my mindset is different than some people. I mean, it's different than most. Everybody doesn't have that just will to just grind it out to get whatever it is that you want. And if you don't, man, honestly, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. Like, stop blaming other people. A lot of this shit, it starts with you, believe it or not. I mean, honestly, like, I manage people for a living. So, and I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I can sit here and give you the rules and all this other shit like that, but I mean, it's honestly up to you if you do it or not. Some people choose not to do it. That's why some people wind up not having a job anymore because you chose not to do it. You know, but again, stop blaming everybody. Take responsibility. I know that's a hard thing to do. I know it's a
It's
hard
the
thing
worst.
to look yourself in the mirror
Right.
and actually say, okay, you know what, I fucked that one up. Instead of blaming somebody else, look in the mirror. Okay, I fucked that one up. Learn from it. Learn from it, improve from it.
Dude,
That's what people don't do.
that is the biggest thing I've had to learn how to do, man, is self-deprecating. Especially, I've had to learn how to translate it into humor for me. Like we started this off with me talking about the handicapped kid laughing his ass off at me, and it's like old me would have been like, "Fuck that guy," fuck,
Yeah.
who's this clown sit here and fucking talk to me? I'm fully functioning, So learning to be the lesser man, to turn yourself into the bigger man, has been so much more gratifying, especially inside, to be able to laugh at yourself, bro. There's so many people that just can't laugh at themselves either. And it's like, dude.
I try to tell my son this, all the time, like, dude, I've lived a life already. I've done it before you. I've made the mistakes already.
Yeah.
So now if you just listen to me, I can walk you through this. And don't get me wrong, some of this stuff he's gonna have to take the bumps for.
For sure.
It's just part of growth.
It's his own path. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his own path. But I can sit there and let him make mistakes. And if it starts to get too far, then I can jump in and intervene. But I try to tell him all the time, like, dude, I've already lived this life before you. Like you got the answers to the test already. If you just listen, I can walk you through it.
Yeah, Cam's a fucking good egg too, dude.
Yeah, man, he's a good kid.
That literally, it's that old hacky cliche. I mean, the rotten apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, the good apple does the same damn thing. So, like I said, man, I love the shit out of you, bro. I respect the hell out of you, and it was great actually finally being able to get this release. You and I have how many times have we gone off record after some of our sessions and been like, dude, I just wanted to go absolutely nutso.
There's still some things I still want to go absolutely nutso and berserk.
And they're always
we'll leave that. We'll leave. We got other opportunities to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Our yap sessions. I mean, we're gonna start being bitches about them. Like we really it's gonna be a yap session. So if you want to hear it, cool. Just know that we're gonna get into some topics that may be a little touchy for some people. For us, fuck it. This is our outlet. This is for us to vent.
Right.
If you want to listen to it, cool. I understand. If you don't, hey, I understand that as well.
Yeah, and we're not here to take any personal shots at people. So if you take it offensively, that's your own fault.
Maybe. I think some people need some personal shots taken at them.
Well, I mean,
we've seen a lot of bullshit.
If they're going to talk shit, absolutely. But I mean, otherwise, we're not here to take jabs and point out this person or this person for being a piece of shit kind of deal. So, like I said, we're all about open dialogue. If you disagree with us, reach out to us. Make sure you do that on Twitter. Make sure you do that on here in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, or don't dislike and subscribe, but make sure you still subscribe so that we know for a fact that you hate us but follow us. So,
but, if you want to reach out, hey,
please
just know if you take shots. I mean, just know if you take shots, we will take them back at you. So be cool when you're messaging.
The good thing about it is we're going to be laughing hysterically at every single tweet that we send out to you. No matter how amped or heated you get, this is our plateau right here because we're just going to be laughing. So
absolutely.
Either you learn to laugh at yourself and enjoy it or you don't. But all right, guys. Well, I think this is going to put one in the books for us. I loved it, man. I think that this couldn't have gone any better. I'm glad. I know it finally hit a fever pitch where we were like, "Fuck, we know we got to talk about this." But I don't think we went. I think we're in the right mind frame to talk about this today without going over the Richter, off the Richter kind of deal. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we can sit here and just go in and we just go on and on because it's so much stuff
Right.
that we can actually talk about. But we'll break it up. We'll save a little bit more for later. And so this will be our yap session, you know.
That's it, ladies and
We'll be
gentlemen.
doing a yap session.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, make sure down below, like and subscribe, reach out to us, talk to us. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. We want to hear where your thought process comes from the other side of the Twitter feed. So make sure you do follow us on Uncommon Man, it's UCM Pod at Twitter. I will make sure to post that in the comments as well as the, not comments, I'm sorry, in the details section below with all the links to that. So make sure you reach out and tell us how much you either A, like us, or B, hate us. So, all right, buddy.
Later. See you.
All right, man. Enjoy.
All right, bro.